Hello friends, myself रोहित पांचाल एंड वंस अगेन वेलकम बैक इन द ब्यूटी वर्ल्ड ऑफ फार्मेसी। तो आज से हम HAP फर्स्ट ईयर डिप्लोमा स्टार्ट करने वाले हैं। द टॉपिक इज स्कोप ऑफ एनाटॉमी एंड फिजियोलॉजी विच इज़ द फर्स्ट चैप्टर ऑफ द HAP फर्स्ट। देन लेट्स बिगिन। Here are some basic terms related to the HAP. First one is a morphology. Then what is a morphology? Morph means structure and logy means to study. In morphology we are going to study the structures. The structure may be internal or external. That means in morphology we are going to study the internal as well as external structures of an organism or plant is called as morphology. The next one is anatomy. Tomy in Greek language, tomy means to cut. That means in anatomical study we are going to cut any particular organ and then we perform our study. That means we are going to study the internal structure of an organism. That's why it is called as anatomy. Here see the difference between anatomy and morphology. In anatomy we are going to study only the internal structures, while in morphology we study the internal as well as external structures. This is the basic difference between anatomy and morphology. Next one is a human anatomy. Anatomy means the study of internal structures and human anatomy is the study of internal structures of an human body. Next one is a morphology of adult human. Morphology can be classified into mainly two types, that is a gross anatomy and microscopic anatomy. As the name indicates, gross anatomy is the study of anatomical structure that can be studied by the naked eyes. That means in gross anatomy we perform the study on anatomical structures by our naked eyes. That's why it is called as gross anatomy. But in microscopic anatomy, as the name indicate microscopic anatomy, microscopy is required to perform the microscopic anatomical study of minute, that is very small anatomical structures assisted with the microscope. Next one is the scope branches or branches of anatomy. First one is a human physiology. Physiology is nothing but the study of physical appearance of an organism is called as physiology. That means we are going to study the body functions, how the body works. Study is done in the human physiology. Physiology is the scientific study of the functions, various functions of the body like anabolism, catabolism, metabolism, and various activity related to the body and their mechanism in a living system is done within the human physiology. Next one is embryology. In embryology we are going to study the embryo, that means the first 8 weeks of the development after the fertilization of human egg. Next one is a developmental biology. As the name indicates, developmental, complete development of an individual from the fertilization to the death. That means from the formation of cell until the death, the study is done within the developmental biology. Next one is the cell biology. In cell biology we are going to study the cell, its functions, basic structure, differentiation. Studies are done within the cell biology. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all living organism. Cell is differentiated into the tissue and next tissue is differentiated into the organ is differentiated into organ system, and finally the organism formation takes place. Next one is a histology. In Greek language, histo means tissue. Then what is a histology? Histology is nothing but the study of tissue of an organism is called as histology. Tissue in human body may be of 4 types: fibrous tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. connective tissue, that is a skeletal tissue. The study of these four tissue takes place within the histology. The structure which cells is made up of. Many cells comes together to form a tissue. Gross anatomy, as I said earlier, structures that can be examined without microscope, that means naked eyes, are called as gross anatomy. In gross anatomy, we are going to study the structures that are visible through our naked eyes. Next one is systemic anatomy. Structures of specific system of the body, that is a study of organ involved within a particular system. There are 11 systems of the human body. How many systems? 11 systems. 11 system, that is Murder's link, MURDERS, Murder's link, LINC. M for muscular system, M for muscular system, U for urinary system, R for reproductive system, D for digestive system, E for endocrine system, R for respiratory system, MU murders, S for skeletal system, L for lymphatic system, I for integumentary, that is skin related system, N for nervous system, and last one is a cardiovascular system. These 11 systems are present within the body. That means in systemic anatomy, we are going to study a particular organ that forms a system. For example, nervous respiratory system. In nervous system is formed by various organs like brain, spinal cord, various nerves like sensory or motor nerves. In systemic anatomy, we study the brain, which is a part of nervous system, and we study it. That's why it is called as systemic anatomy. In regional anatomy, the study of specific regions like head or neck takes place. Next one is the surface anatomy. As the name indicates, surface anatomy, surface marking the body to understand the internal anatomy through visualization. Surface anatomy is done for the purpose of internal anatomical study, for the visualization and palpation purpose. Next one is a radiographic anatomy. As the name indicates, radiographical anatomical study contains the use of X-rays. X-ray are used within the radiographic anatomy. That's why it is called as radiographic anatomy. Body structures are visualized under the X-rays and the study is done. Next one is a pathological anatomy. In Greek language, patho means disease. That means the study of structure in a diseased condition are called as pathological anatomy. Structural changes associated with the disease. That means the changes that takes place within the organ under the disease condition. For example, histopathological changes in kidney in diabetes condition. What are the changes takes place within the kidney in diabetic conditions takes place within the pathological anatomical study. Next one is a neurophysiology. Neuro means nervous system, and nerve cell is the basic and structural functional unit of nervous system. In neurophysiology, we are going to study the properties of the nerve cell. That's why it is called as neurophysiology. Next one is endocrinology. Endocrine is the largest gland of the human body, which secretes hormones and perform various functions. That means hormones and how they are controlled within the body functions are going to study within the endocrinology. Next one is cardiovascular physiology. Cardio means heart and vascular means blood vessels. In this cardiovascular physiology, we study the heart and blood vessels. Here are some basic concepts we study within the basic terms of the HAP. In next lecture, we are going to start the cardiovascular system, which is a very important topic related to the HAP. I hope you all get these points. Thank you.